Ain't no money like free money. That's how we should start off every podcast. Nick Whitmer, how you doing, pal?
I
It's
like I
been a
like
couple
that.
weeks.
Yeah, it's been good. Happy the belated Thanksgiving. Can you do that? Yeah, that's great. I That's a good little tagline. Did you just come up with that just now, or did you?
I give credit where credit is due. I amended it.
Okay.
My friend Tim Callie, shout out, has one of the best lines ever. Ain't no pussy like new pussy. So I just decided
There you
to
go.
switch him around and make it apropos for this podcast. Kevin Gootee, Nick
Yeah.
Whitmer. Here we go, kids. Sorry, no show last week. It was just too goddamn crazy with Nick out in Pennsylvania or where the hell, Maryland, I think it was, right? Or Virginia, one of those states that
Virginia, yeah.
yeah.
My mom lives in the country, and like the Wi-Fi is like dial up from 1996 is more reliable than fucking my mom's internet. So I
Cool.
could not do anything. I couldn't even upload a 4-minute video. It was just absurd.
Yeah, she's on the ASL question mark chat rooms in AOL. Is that what she's up to?
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at that baby dance.
Yeah, 21 and 13 last week. Although I started off very weekly on Thanksgiving to the point where I go, I get more action. I got to rebound quickly, and then it's had a solid 4 o'clock run.
Yeah. Thursday, Thanksgiving was terrible. Did hit San Francisco, but
Yeah,
Washington and the points, yuck.
yeah.
Detroit just pissed down their leg.
That one
Man,
hurt,
it's
man. That was 4 bets right off the jump. The first game of
yeah,
the week, and we're both texting each other going, oh my God, is this a harbinger for the things that come this weekend?
right. At least I hit the over on that one. That
Yeah.
in San Francisco, and then on I also I hit one more that I after Thanksgiving I ended up like four, or after Black Friday I ended up 4-4. For the week though, 12-12. A lot of bullshit, man. It was a tough
Yeah.
week. I'm 143, 109 and 5, 57% against the spread. And we're looking to build on this. I like this week a lot better. Although I will say a lot of these lines I hit earlier in the week, but I will still talk about them and still cover them. But want to start with our usual Thursday night football.
Sure. Before we get to it, though, 160, 104, 62%. What a week. Let's kick off Thursday night
Yeah.
indeed.
Seattle Seahawks at the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys currently laying 9.5 with a total of 47.5.
Oh, boy.
I am on an island over here, man. I'm on Seattle Island. I took Seattle early, and I was like, I listened to the pods today, and I went on Twitter looking and stuff, looking for research, and I was expecting it to be one of those games where like, yeah, the sharps are on Seattle, the public's on Dallas. I haven't heard a person give out Seattle. I'm alone. But Dallas is like, yeah, they're a good team. But are they really going to have a blowout win 4 weeks in a row? And Seattle got killed last week, but that's just a matchup thing with San Francisco. Seattle's not a bad team; they're an average team. So you're telling me Cowboys at home? Is their home field worth 2? So 7.5 points better than an average team. That's usually Super Bowl caliber teams when you get to that high. So I don't know. It's a bad spot for Dallas. Dallas has Philly next week, and that's basically the division and the seeding implications. This seems like one of those games that they can kind of coast and win like 23-20. Seattle will give them a scare, and Seattle has everything to play for. Seattle, if they lose this game, their season's over. So they have to show out this game. So I also took the under 47.5. Primetime unders have been killing. 47.5 just seems like too many points for this game. I don't expect Dallas to put up a shit ton of points like they have been. These things don't just happen that way. This is the NFL. The NFL isn't, hey, let's lay 9.5 and hit every week. That just doesn't happen. But I did also, when Dallas did dip to 8.5, and at that moment I did tease them with Jacksonville, both of those to -2.5. So I expect Dallas to win by about a field goal, maybe 4 points, but I'm looking at it 24-20, 21-17. I think a low scoring will surprise people, and I think it'll be closer than people think. What do you say?
I say the Cowboys are 5-0 against the spread at home, 8-1 as favorites with 6 straight covers, and they're 4-1 when laying 7 points this season against the spread. Cowboy fans who live in the Northeast are 0 and 1 billion in common sense arguments. So throw that in your hat as well. I absolutely refuse to take Seattle in any way, shape, or form. I also am not a dum-dum. I'm not going to lay 9.5. Although, again, Dallas, Miami, they are home bullies. Do not be surprised if they boat race them as well. They also who do I have here today? I have and I just put in another one now. I teased Dallas down to -2 and teased the Packers up to +13. And then I also have Dallas to -2 as well as to Tennessee +1.5. So that's what I have. And I also have Dallas as part of 2 different money line parlays. And I'll get into those later. So I've got a lot of action with Dallas. I think it's going to win by a field goal. Sure. Let's do it.
It just kind of occurred to me that maybe Dak Prescott under pass attempts could be a play, but we're sitting here 5 minutes till kickoff and we're doing a podcast. So I'll try to look at the number while we're doing this, but I'm not guaranteeing it. So we'll skip that for now and I'll get back to it if I get to it. So on to 1 o'clock, the Miami Dolphins at the Washington Commanders. Commanders are getting 9.5 at home with a total of 49.5. Man, again, it's like, is this really going to, I mean, the Jets really should have covered last week. They
what?
Clearly.
What do you mean they should have covered? They were
Miami didn't, but Miami did
offense.
I know, but Miami didn't do anything. Like Miami, like they their margin was just terrible pick sixes. Which hey, that happens when you start Timmy Boyle. But I'm just saying, like it's not like Miami had this crazy impressive offensive performance, and now they're going to be outside. We're getting into December time period. It's supposed to rain. I haven't taken it yet, but I might take a swing at Washington Commanders +9.5. I like they fired their coordinator. I like that bump. And I really probably going to take the under 49.5, but I'm just waiting on the rain because both these teams like to air it out. So I might take the under, but it's weather dependent. And I lean to Washington. I might end up taking it, but as of right now, I got zilch on this game, and it might even just be a stay away.
Yeah, I don't know what game you were watching. The Jets got 1 offensive touchdown at the very end of the game. The other one they had was a pick 6. They stink. Miami started off slowly and then ran the ball down their throats, especially with Mostert taking the lead and hitting your parlays. You were texting me about that before. Look, I don't have any on this game either. However, I need to find out some numbers. I may be inclined to take Tua to throw an interception, especially if it's raining. Wet ball. Someone slips and falls, ball hangs in the air. Let me see how that goes. So I'm looking to take Tua as throwing an INT if the weather holds up. But otherwise, I have nothing in this game. If it gets to 10, then I'll jump on the skins. But as of right now, I have nothing. They're so bad. But again, like you said, the getting rid of their head coach, defensive coordinator, excuse me, that would be the rallying cry for them. Although they're pretty goddamn awful.
Yeah, and I think Miami is one of those teams that they're good at certain things and they're good playing a certain way. But if they don't play that way, they're not gonna like against the Jets. The Jets defense didn't let them play the way they wanted to. Yeah. Anyway, on to the next one.
One other thing too. We should also bet on to see if indeed Mike McDaniel will wear his capri pants in the sidelines if it does rain. And I'm going to see those cutesy poo calves of his. What man is wearing capri pants as an NFL coach? I'm no fashion guru, nor are you. That's all fine and well. But for the love of Christ, is there ever a moment, Nick Whitmer, that you would wear capri pants and not for any kind of sum of cash?
Well, I think he gets the pass because he doesn't just have capris. He has the sweatpants that he pulls up into capris.
That's it. Yeah, right.
So That's why he gets the pass. He's not just wearing straight like a guy from Belgium, capri pants.
With a fanny pack. That'd be even cuter.
Yeah. The Detroit Lions at the New Orleans Saints. Saints are getting 4 at home with a total of 47. Yeah, this is just. I'm gonna just take a stand this week against these ridiculous numbers, because the favorites went like 12-3 last week against the spread, and we're getting kind of ridiculous with the public being plus 60%. The Lions are like getting historically they're like 88% of the handle right now. I took the Saints at 4.5. I think the back door's wide open. The Lions defense is trash. Yes, Derek Carr sucks in the red zone, but the Lions are terrible at red zone defense. There's going to be some injury issues with the Saints, but I'm kind of not worried about it. I think wide receivers are mostly replaceable. The last 2 games, the Lions defense got butchered by Justin Fields and Jordan Love. And I think Jordan Love's trending up for sure, but it's not like he's a top 5 guy, top 10 guy. And Fields is bottom 5. Both games torched. So this Lions defense is atrocious. And this might be a get right spot for Goff, but the Saints defense is serviceable. I think they keep it close. Saints plus 4.5. I love it.
The Lions just got embarrassed on national TV, and now they're going to a dome with 10 days off to prepare for a team that is going to be missing probably Chris Olave, maybe even oh god damn, who's the other receiver they had?
Chenault or whatever.
Right. So that you're telling me that you feel confident with Alvin Kamara, who's good, Taysom Hill and Juwan Johnson are your top options. And again, with Derek Carr, who's just been worse than drinking the prep solution for a colonoscopy. By the way, when they tell you to drink it at 5:00, listen to them, because I waited till about 6:30 after I had some egg drop soup, and I said, "What's going on here?" It wasn't until 11 o'clock I had my first liquid Duke, and it just went all night and I slept for maybe 2 hours, and we're just squirting away. So guys, girls, started at 5:00, like they say. Anywho, I don't trust the Saints. I'm not taking a plus 4.5. No way, no how. I see the Lions. Yes, I agree with your points about their defense. I just don't see it happening. But I'm not going to also lay 4.5. I'm smarter than that. That's why I just cheated and took them as part of Moneyline Parlay. I want no part of the Saints, period.
Now we have the Los Angeles Chargers at the New England Patriots. The Patriots are catching 5.5 at home with a total of 40.5. Yuck. I don't want to watch another second of Patriots football for the rest of the season. I took the under 40.5 because why not? But other than that, I got zilch.
Yeah, by the way, the Saints are 0-4 against the spread at home this year. Lions 4-1 on the road against the spread, 3-0 against the spread as road favorites. And they've covered 5 straight after a loss. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. So we're going to the Chargers. Yeah, I have a lot. This is an absolute do or die. I hate to say this, but the fact Brendan Staley has a job means he has copious amounts of blackmail on Dean oh God, what's the owner's last name? Spanos. I was saying Stanos. Like, that rhymes with Thanos, which is nowhere near the case. They just got embarrassed offensively on Sunday night. The Patriots, by the way, I told you the Giants are going to cover that 2 different ways. I told you all that, and I went outright. Even better. Look, they stink, Chargers. Who are they? I'm going to say the same thing about the Chargers as I said about the Patriots last week. Who the fuck are the Chargers to lay 6 on the road? Same thing. So what did I do? I teased them to a pick 'em with your Pittsburgh Steelers catching 0.5 point. And I've also teased them the under up to 46 with the Kansas City Chiefs over to 36. So Chargers under 36, KC over 36. Chargers teased to a pick 'em. Pitt teased to plus half a point. I also hit the Chargers again under 40.5. Why? Well, Keenan Allen has not practiced the last 2 days. He's pretty much their entire offense. Chargers under 8 out of 9 of late. They are also 4 out of 5 under on the road. Pats 8 under 8 out of their last 10. And God damn it, Patriots 1-9 against the spread. Their last 9 at home. Want nothing to do with betting the sides. I said, give me the cheating. I'll just make it a pick 'em pretty much. Give me the Chargers in those teasers and the under as well.
Yeah, and that's going back to the Chargers Sunday night football against the Ravens. Having 3.5 there. What a brutal loss that was.
Oh my God.
Oh my, just brutal. And then on Monday Night Football, I had a single game parlay and I missed it by 1 pass attempt by Dobbs. It was just a brutal week. But it still finished 500.
That's as bad as losing my Jalen Warren prop by half a yard.
Yeah, and I got it by a half yard, so I won it. Speaking of my Steelers, the Arizona Cardinals at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers laying 5.5, total of 41. I love the over in this game. I lean Steelers. I haven't taken it. It's tough because every trend says take it the Cardinals, but I think that the Steelers offense is this spot for the Steelers. Fading the favorites. it was more of a Ben Roethlisberger team trend when they were a really good team with a bunch of good players. They kind of took it easy against bad teams, but this team isn't the type of team that is taking it easy. This team is not good enough at all to take anything easy. So I like the offensive changes last week, and the Cardinals defense is terrible. Their run defense is terrible. The Steelers are running the ball very well. I think both teams score over 20, so I definitely love the over. Haven't taken a side yet. I could see myself on either one, honestly. At 6.5, I might take the Cards. At 5.5, I probably lean Steelers.
Yeah, I'm not touching any part of the Cardinals. They are dead last in every offensive category known to man. Speaking of offensive categories, your boy Matt Canada, great poor name, horrible offensive coordinator. The Steelers took the cuffs off everybody and threw up over 400 yards of offense for the first time in Christ knows how long. Kenny Pickett 15-8 against the spread. His last 23. Steelers under 9-2 of late. You may want to kind of back off that over there, buddy. Steelers are 5-0 against the spread with teams with losing records. They have also covered 4 out of their last 5 home games. The defense has allowed 20 points or fewer in 7 straight. Arizona has lost 7 straight on the road. I like to cheat. As I said before, I took the Chargers pick with the Pittsburgh Steelers plus the half point. I teased Pittsburgh again to +1 because I had to do a 7-pointer with the Jacksonville Jaguars to -2.5. So I had to break the rule of teasing through 0 because I had to get the Jags below that field goal. I think Pittsburgh's going to win this game. I think it's going to be a rocking chair game, which is our favorite kind of games to have.
I think the Steelers the over thing. I usually get it, but Kyler has done a little better. Last week is kind of a divisional nightmare matchup for them, and that's kind of, in my opinion, the reason why they got blown out. But Kyler too is like I think he's 12-2 against the spread as a road dog. So I don't know. We'll see. I haven't taken a side yet, but I definitely like the over.
14-5-1 as a road dog.
Yeah,
11-9 outright.
Indianapolis at Tennessee. Tennessee's getting 1 at home with a total of 42.5. This was part of a teaser. I teased Tennessee up to 7 and the Jacksonville Jaguars down to 2.5.
Tennessee. I've got a fantasy play for you. Zach Moss, $4,600. You get a number 1 running back for only $4,600. Zach Moss, when he has played, 20.7 PPR. He scored 20.7 in his last in 3 out of his first 4 games, including 33.5 points against the Titans week 5. And guess who was on his bench that week? Yeah. Titans have allowed 5 backs to score in the last 5 games, at least 12 PPR. I'm with you on that teaser. What do we have here? I have the Titans 0-5, though, against teams with winning records against the spread. They are 4-1 outright and against the spread at home, but Colts are 4-1 outright and against the spread on the road. I mean, we all know about Vrabel, 12-6 outright and ATS as a home dog, which is the best winning percentage as a home dog since the Super Bowl era. I teased that game. I teased the Titans at +7.5 with tonight. Dallas -2.
There we go. We are at the Denver Broncos at the Houston Texans. Texans -3, total of 47.5. This was when it was at 3.5. I was really tempted to take Denver. I didn't hit it. It went down to 3, and then there's sharps apparently around the Texans, but the Texans are bad as favorites. And I know that the Broncos are getting a bunch of turnovers and yada yada yada, but this is the time of year when a team starts playing hot and they get hot and they start making plays. It kind of just keeps going. And Denver is, the way that they're doing, in my opinion, is very, very sustainable. Great Seattle defense there, keeping the Dallas out of the end zone.
Yeah.
9. There we go. And for the under, that's beautiful. Anyway, so I got nothing really on this game at the moment. At 3.5, I lean Denver. If it gets back to 3.5, I might even consider taking it. But at this point, nothing.
Cold cash player of the game. I'm going Nico Collins again, who blew up last week, 100 and a touch. He's got 13 and a half PPR, 3 in a row, and 2 TDs. He has 20 targets his last 2 games against Arizona and Jacksonville. 14 catches out of those 20, $6,800. Not a bad deal. I have teased the Denver Broncos up to 10 and a half, paired that with the Philadelphia Eagles catching 10 as well. Denver, you mentioned they're getting a lot of luck with the turnovers. They are 4-1 against the spread their last 5. They've won 5 straight, as you had said. Denver, though, 3-13 straight up on their last 16 on the road. But Houston, you mentioned too, not good as a favorite. I think Stroud is winless as in a spread against the spread favorite. They are 1-4 against the spread their last 5. I also took the over in this game. I have that at over 47. I think they're going to be points. Houston's defense hasn't proven to do much. I think Russ now is starting to get his feet. This game could, 27-20. That's well, it pushes me. So I went a little on that one, but like I said, I think Denver, I think this game is closer than than that. So 10 and a half points. That's plenty of points for me. Again, paired with the Eagles catching 10.
There you go. The Atlanta Falcons at the New York Jets. Jets +2 at home with a total of 34. Yeah, call me crazy, but we have a dome team with a turnover-prone quarterback versus a great opportunistic defense outside in the rain in almost December. In December, yeah. December 3rd is the game, yeah. Why is the Falcons favored on the road outside in December against the good defense? Is this line not ridiculous to anybody else? Teams that are lost by 20 or 60% against the spread the following week. That's the Jets. Rodgers is back, so I think that's like a motivational trend for the Jets to be
he's working out, dude. Don't make it sound like he's back in the lineup.
He's back in he's practicing. I mean, he's at the facility, and when he's there throwing passes, I think the team's like, okay, if we can win a couple games, maybe we can get this guy back. I think it's a positive trend for the Jets is my point. Anyway, at 2, I'm not touching it, but at 3, I think you got to take the Jets. I know it stinks, but I don't understand how you could possibly lay points with Atlanta here. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I maybe even throw the Jets in like a round robin underdog money line, because it's just hard to see Desmond Ridder, who's already terrible on the road, all of a sudden. I mean, Tua threw multiple picks against this defense last week. I mean, is Desmond Ridder really not going to throw 2 or 3 picks this Sunday? I don't know. So Jets +3 would be the pick. I haven't bet it yet because I'm waiting for the 3 to come back. I'm sure it will. I'm sure the public will be all over Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm waiting for touchdown Timmy to throw 3 picks to the Atlanta defense. Atlanta defense is pretty solid. I mean, they kept the Saints in check before they got all banged up. I know the Falcons' woes on the road. If I'd rather listen, this game stinks so badly. I'd rather watch Sebastian Maniscalco hump a stool and wave a wooden spoon in the air than watch this game. I mean, Falcons 2-8 against the spread their last 10, 3-6 straight up their last 9. They're 1-10 straight up on the last 11 on the road. The Jets so 0-4 against 0-4-1 against the spread their last 5. I think Atlanta's going to win this game. I'm not laying 2 though, because if you're to tell me that this game is going to be 10-9. I'm not shocked. So they're part of a money line parlay for me, paired with the Miami Dolphins, and that just a 2-team money line parlay at +106. So I think Atlanta wins, but 2.5, bridge too far.
The Carolina Panthers onto the 4 o'clock slate, by the way. The Carolina Panthers at the Tampa Bay Bucks. Bucks are laying 5 with a total of 37. Hey, we get a first coach fired bump. I love it. The team's...
Excuse me, second coach. They fired the Oakland coach a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I meant head coach fired bump. I said first coach. I don't know why. Head coach fired bump. Love it. Teams who fire their head coach are 20-16 the following week against the spread, which might not sound amazing, but if you consider how atrocious the teams are against the spread before that, it's actually a pretty good number. I think the team was upset. I mean, the reports are saying Reich gave away the play calling duties and then took them back. And when he took them back, the team was really upset. They got pummeled the following week, and then he got fired. So I think the team is upset with Reich anyway, so I think this is even more of a positive trend. There's no one's going to miss him. Baker's also banged up. So Panthers plus 5.5 and under 37. Totals of 37 or less. 22-4-1 against the spread since 2020. That also applies to the Jets, by the way. I know that number is only 34, but when you said 10-9, that's kind of like where my head was at as well. Yeah, under 37, Panthers plus 5.5.
I'd rather wake up and looks like DK Metcalf's gonna hit my over for me on this yards already.
Yeah, boy, Seattle. I told you, gonna be feisty tonight.
Well, let's see what happens when they get the ball again here next. We'll see. That's a nice bomb. Yeah, listen, I would rather wake up at 4 a.m. for a Black Friday deal and trying to get a TV for $18 cheaper than watch this game. This game stinks. I have no desire. I have no thoughts on it. My gut says lean Carolina. I've just been burned. I haven't taken them that much except for those first quarter bets, which have hit until last week. Oops, way to go. So yeah. I'm off this game. I have nothing to say for it. So we can go right along to the next one.
Yeah. This is definitely one of those games that you don't even watch. You just check the box score on your phone temporarily to see if you're covering. On to the game of the week. The San Francisco 49ers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles getting 3 at home with a total of 48. Listen, Sunday night I hit the 49ers money line when it was minus 115. I know that's past posting, blah, 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 blah. But this line has just been getting ridiculously bet. The sharps are all over the Niners. I'm sure the public's probably on it too. Terrible spot for Philadelphia. On the game. Sorry, last week their defense was on the field for 90 plays.
Yeah.
And 2 just brutal games back to back against Kansas City. Incredibly lucky to win against the Bills. Incredibly lucky to win, and now you have the Niners who are rested and healthy. When the Niners are healthy, I don't think there's a team in the league who's better than them. So 49ers money line, I do like it at anything 2.5 or less. So if it goes back down to 2.5, I recommend hitting it at 3. I start to think about Philly at 3.5. I would definitely be interested in Philly. I think just the principle of getting the team with a golden horseshoe jammed up their ass, getting 3.5 at home. I also took the 49ers team total over 24.5. Seems like a game that the 49ers are going to be able to put up points. I know it might rain, but it rained last week too, and Josh Allen put up a shit ton of points. Philly's defense is pretty weak, and I think San Francisco knows exactly how to attack him. And I think that obviously they're very pissed off and motivated with the loss that they had last year in the playoffs. So that's what I have on this one.
I took the Niners money line in case this does get close. I don't want to get cute. I'm not listen, but why be a hero? Just win money. That's the best advice I've ever been heard about this. I really am a fan of, I was told this on a podcast. Where the hell is this? Philadelphia. They used to be the first half money line parlay darlings. And I pounded the living piss out of those last year. This year, not so much. Philly has scored less than 10 points a game in the first half. The Niners have allowed 4 points per game. The Philly defense has allowed 17 points per game in the first half of their last 3. Give me the Niners money line for the game. Give me the Niners money line for the first half. And like I said, I'm a little shocked. I understand the whole nuance about Philly out there on the 90 plays. Are they going to lose by double digits, Nick? I say nay. Plus 10.
I say it's a possibility, but I get like I said, golden horseshoe jammed up the ass.
They win at home. I'm not saying they're going to. I hope they don't win. I'm saying they keep it closer than people think.
Right.
A lot of people think some of these sharps are out there saying that San Fran's going to boat race them. Stop it. The Philly's not getting boat raced by this. And if they are down, at least they can make up plays fast. That's for sure. So, look, it's a cold day in hell before you see me, defend those bottom feeding mouth breathers. But here we are.
Right. Then on to again, NFL 3-4 o'clock games. Are you fucking serious? What does Scott Hansen do on the red zone when there's 3-4 o'clock games?
Did you watch last week when the fire alarm went off when he was broadcasting? He was so funny. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, this has never happened before. Why do you just try and drop a beat in the middle of that? Just start kind of freestyling the entire time. That would have been fun.
This dude's covering it like he's fucking doing the Kennedy assassination, announcing it. Like he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, this just in."
Yeah.
There's a fire alarm going off. Yeah, bro, I think you're fine.
He was like Al Michaels, if you remember, and I never forget watching this live, is when OJ was in the Bronco and Al Michaels was doing it, and some guy calls in, and I know it's a prank phone call. Listen to Howard Stern as a kid. It's 1990. And I'm sitting there with my dad. I go, this is the prank phone call. Heck, how do you know? I go, that's a fake black voice. I promise you, it's a prank phone call. Hands to the face, and lo and behold, and Al Michaels goes, lest anyone think that was a credible phone call, it was totally farcical in nature. Like, again, same thing. It's a dude chased in a Bronco, but yet again, he thinks he's covering the front lines of Sarajevo or something like that.
Cleveland Browns at the Los Angeles Rams. Rams laying 3.5 with a total of 40. Yeah, am I missing something about this? Like, so we have Joe Flacco, who hasn't played in how long? He's going to start an NFL game against the Rams, who are trending up and healthy and looking really good right now. I love the Rams minus 3.5. I bet it immediately when I saw it, and then it went up to 4.5 and then down to 3.5. I don't. I'm having a hard time. That's a brutal third down to give up, Seattle.
Oof.
Oof is right. Especially when you throw it underneath and the tight end just runs for an extra 12 yards. But anyway, so we're going to have the Browns who are going to be missing Denzel Ward. We're going to have a banged up Myles Garrett, who, by the way, their defense is great, but have you seen their defense on the road? The numbers that they've given up on the road are actually pretty bad. I can pull them up here when you do yours, when you do your handicap on the game.
I'll give you an example. Case in point, last weekend against the Broncos that I had them teased, that didn't hit. The under barely hit. Thank God it was a safety. If I didn't tease, I would have lost that puppy. But you're right. I think 29-17 was the final. Oof.
Yeah. And then, I mean, they allowed 30 to 38, I think, to Baltimore. They allowed 27 to Pittsburgh, who never scores. Their defense. I mean, granted, the Steelers did have some defensive touchdowns, I will say, but they've had some pretty lousy performances on the road. So I don't get this. I think the Rams are trending up. I think they're playing well. I think they get that running back who we hit his yards.
Kyren Williams.
Yeah, in like the first quarter and a half over
right.
57.5 or whatever it was, and then he ended up doubling it. I'm going to look at his numbers and see where they are again. But I love the Rams here. I think it's a great spot for the Rams, terrible spot for the Browns. You're really going to tell me Joe Flacco? I mean, listen, Joe Flacco is a better quarterback than Darian Thompson-Robinson, I'm sure, in the sense
Is he?
Well, in the sense that he can read a defense and make a throw, but he doesn't have the wheels that those guys have. PJ and DTR can actually run a little bit, so it makes the defense have to play a little bit more honest. Flacco can't run, so the defense is going to be like, all right, cool, we're going to rush 4, and that's it, and we're going to drop people in coverage. Amari Cooper's hurt. Good luck. And in the Browns drop more passes, almost as many passes as the fucking Chiefs do. So, give me the Rams.
I'm going to moneyline the Rams. I don't like that. Again, I hate 3.5. The burning touchdown. Attaboy. I absolutely hate the 3.5. It just makes my taint crawl. You know what makes my taint crawl? Paying $7,800 for Cooper Kupp. No thanks. He has scored less than 6.9 points in 5 in a row. Puka Nacua, by the way, fantastic porn name or description of what kind of traveler's diarrhea you may have when you go to Fiji. Puka Nacua, Kyren Williams, even Tutu Atwell, all these guys are just dipping into the Cooper Kupp well that no longer runneth over. So, by the way, Cleveland number 2 and fewest fantasy points allowed the receivers. I'm with you. How is this only 3.5? What am I missing? Joe Flacco, if he starts, DTR, if he starts, who gives a shit? I mean, we just saw the Rams manhandle the Cardinals last week, and they have a way more explosive offense than the Browns do. I don't like 3.5, so I took the Rams on the money line. I made them also part of a 6-way money line parlay. Dallas, Chargers, Pitt, Rams, Jags, Lions, plus 614.
Sunday Night Football, the Kansas City Chiefs at the Green Bay Packers. Packers plus 6 with a total of 42.5. I'm waiting for the 6.5. I really want the Packers in this one. They're just trending up. This is that time of year. I mentioned it a few times in this pod. When teams start to get hot, they start to play well. It really translates. It really carries over into the next weeks. The momentum really starts to solidify here. Kansas City last week, I mean, yeah, they covered, but uh, other than throwing it to Rice, he literally threw it to nothing but Kelsey and running backs. I don't think this Chiefs offense is all of a sudden solved. Packers defense is playing well. Packers offense is playing well. I think the Packers can keep this close, cold game in Lambeau, Sunday Night Football. I think it's gonna be a close one. So I want the 6.5 though. So I'm waiting for it, but I will take it when it hits there. I took the 6.5 in our contest that we're in, and yeah, that's all I got on this one.
Yeah, as I mentioned, I teased the Packers to plus 13 with Dallas -2. I mean, Chiefs on the road. I had the Raiders +9, and thank God I didn't buy it again to +10. Although for the first few minutes of the game, I go, oh, here we go, 14-0. I should be able to coast to a cover. Wrong.
Dude, brutal.
Next rule of thumb: anytime the Chiefs are down about any point by 7 or more, we hammer them when they're catching points after that in-game betting.
Yeah, it was literally they were outscored 31-3 after being up 14-0. That's just nauseating. That's another loss that I had. I was like, Jesus Christ. Not my week.
By the way, Chiefs under second half has hit every game this year, 11-0. The under for the second half last week was 20.5. That second half total, 20 points scored. I'm very strongly considering taking that second half under for the game.
I will take a look at that too. Monday night, the Cincinnati Bengals at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars laying 9 with a total of 38.5. I took the under 38.5. Primetime unders, they're just on fire right now, and I'm just gonna bet them until they don't hit anymore. Kind of like tonight's. Doesn't look good with 17 points already on the board, but I've made so much money this season betting primetime unders that even if I lose this one and Monday night, it's not like it's gonna negatively impact my bottom line when it comes to taking these unders.
What was that number again, Nick? What was the under you said?
30. And this one, Thursday? Yeah, Jags 38.5.
Okay.
And as I mentioned before, I teased the Jags down to 2.5 with Dallas, not -2.5 as well. But not a lot on this one. It's going to be an ugly one. Jake Browning, yuck. I probably will take a single game parlay every Monday night. Gives me a reason to watch, but I don't put a bunch on it. I look at it like a scratch off ticket. You know, if I win, great. If I lose, oh well, it's a fucking scratch off. What did I expect to happen?
Right.
But that's just for my own little enjoyment there. But yeah, that's all I got on this one.
I've got the Jags teased to 2.5 with your Pittsburgh Steelers to +1. I had the Jags part of that large money line parlay, and I really thought I had the Jags on a second teaser. Unless I just didn't write it down, but boy, oh boy, I'll be getting them in twice. That's for goddamn sure. But yeah, that's what I have is just the Jags tease. I know I have them in a second teaser. I just don't know where the hell it is. So let's just recap now. Yeah,
you want to go first or you want me to go first?
You go first to see if I can find if this other teaser here.
Got it. For my sides, I got Rams -3.5, 49ers money line, Seahawks +9.5, Saints +4.5, Panthers +5.5. Totals: Carolina, Tampa Bay under 37, Arizona, Pittsburgh over 41, Chargers, Pats under 40, 49ers team total over 24.5, Seattle, Dallas under 47.5, Cincy, Jags under 38.5, and I have 2 teasers on the board: Tennessee to 7, Jacksonville to -2.5, and then Dallas and Jacksonville both to -2.5.
I did find that teaser. 1 second here. I did take Dallas again. I have Dallas teased with the Jags. Dallas down to 2.5, Jags to -1.5. So let's give it to you from the top. San Fran money line, number 1. Number 2, Denver +10.5 teased with Philadelphia +10. Chargers teased to a pick 'em with your Pittsburgh Steelers to catching half. Chargers under teased to 46 with the Chiefs over teased to 36. Tennessee +7.5, Dallas -2. Boy, I really went on Dallas a lot, didn't I? And another teaser, Miami and Atlanta moneyline parlay +106. Another one, Dallas, Chargers, Pittsburgh, Rams, Jags, Lions +614. Another one, wow, Dallas, Chargers, Detroit moneyline parlay +156. Another moneyline parlay, Pittsburgh, Rams, Miami +166. Your Pittsburgh Steelers on the money line. Denver over 47. San Fran first half money line. Pitt and the Jags. Pitt +1, Jags -2.5. Chargers under 40.5. Next one, Dallas -2 to Green Bay +13. Rams money line, Chiefs Dallas -2.5 and Jags -1.5. And then I'm going to probably take Tua to throw an INT, waiting on the weather, and then Rams money line as well. That's what I have so far.
Well, there we go. Well, let's keep winning and keep making money. And we'll see you next week.
We'll see you at the window.